And we're back. Okay,
Yes.
we wanted to chat with you guys. Guilty pleasure. I don't know if you're into those love reality shows, but
Junk. But love it.
I used to have a love and hate relationship because obviously I'm an actress, and I almost like boycotted them because I was like, no, it's taking work away from actors, which I still feel like it is.
And at times you feel like it's like you're getting dumber. Like just by watching it. I feel like that sometimes.
I was like, I don't feel like I'm getting
I have
dumber.
to limit it.
I'm not getting dumber, but I understand what you mean. It's just, and also now people go on these shows and then they're like instant, like, influencers and stars, and they have like jobs like hosting. Why are your air quotes for?
Well, you said I was agreeing with you.
No, I know, but why did you put air quotes?
I don't remember now, but at the time it made sense.
So I was wondering if you're
actors, the real actors now. They're influencers,
right?
Because they were on a reality show.
Yeah, and they have like all these job opportunities, and I'm just like, am I gonna be on the next Ultimatum?
No, never in life.
That was a good transition.
Never.
So speaking of, okay, guys, so season 3. First of all, Karma, I love you, Karma, and because I'm just gonna reference, I don't even know their names. You're really good with names.
Well, what is it for the people who don't know?
Okay, go. Go. Good. So, explain it.
The ultimatum is basically take a couple, and one person wants to get married, but the other person's dragging their feet or won't do it. So the one partner gives the other partner an ultimatum. We're going to go on this show with 4 or 5 other couples. Mm-hmm. One of them have given the other partner an ultimatum. Now, during the show, they are going to break up and you will be single, and you get to
the very next day.
Yes. You get to date these other people in front of your ex-partner. And
that one didn't deserve air quotes because technically that's it. It's we're on a break.
Right. Friend. And if you hit it off with that person, you could go on a pretend marriage? What do they call it?
Basically, you're forced to choose somebody to do a
mock marriage.
Right, but they call it now I totally forgot. Anyway, I'll remember. But essentially a trial marriage with somebody for 3 weeks. You move in with them, all the things.
At the same time, your ex is doing the same thing. But at first, before you do the mock, the trial marriage, you're dating, you're talking within a lounge across from your ex doing the same thing.
So you see them like...
and then you see the other partner bawling in the corner because they just can't take it.
Well, not always, but I will say...
it's brutal.
This season, there's this one guy, I don't remember his name, I don't know if you remember, so this is where I was going. First night, right?
I remember his name.
What was his name?
His name's Dave.
Oh, Dave. Okay. So, Mr. Dave has the audacity. So, he got the ultimatum from his girl. He has the audacity the day before the breakup. He tells his girl, I forgot her name too, basically that he, some other girl that he met across the way was interesting.
Yeah, he said, "Did you see blah, blah, blah? That was interesting."
She was interesting.
Bro, he didn't think that
Let me tell you something.
He didn't think that through.
I would have been so off the show so quick. I would have been like, you are wasting my fucking time.
What does that even mean? Get the fuck
out of my face.
What does that mean?
I'm done.
He didn't say like, oh, she was hot or this or that. He just said.
Because he's a coward.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I think, and he was obviously saying like this woman was interesting. He's interested.
But then what happened?
Karma. This is why I love you, Karma. Karma she comes through every single time. Like, just trust and believe. I've experienced this myself. So I was just like already, hating on this guy because I was like, ew, you're so nasty. Like, plus You're not cute, Dave.
You're so nasty.
You're nasty, and you could use a haircut and a bunch of different things. So nobody ever has, like, you should never be mean like that to anybody.
Poor Dave.
Sorry, Dave, but if you're gonna be that cocky and mean and confident, like, I'm gonna need you to.
Dave was the first one to cry. Dave was crying.
Exactly.
From the jump. Because
all of a sudden, she's enjoying the attention and getting these grown-ass men to, speak to her the way she wanted and blah, blah, blah.
They liked her boo a lot. And she was enjoying it.
Yeah. And so Dave is all of a sudden seeing this and he's like...
having a hard time.
Oh. And now he's a little sad. And I was like, that's what you get, Dave.
She was yelling.
How interesting is it now?
She was yelling at the TV. I was just shaking my head.
And I was just, I don't like to see people suffer, but because he was so nasty to her and just disrespectful.
What was he again?
Disrespectful.
And nasty.
Nasty. You were nasty. So I was just eating it up. I was like, that's what you get, Dave. Because how dare you? Anyways. So that's as invested as we have been. But I wanted to talk to David. Do you think... Oh.
Say what? Say what now?
How do you feel? No, because we haven't rehearsed this, you guys. So how would you feel being given an ultimatum? And not so much like... Obviously, you probably would never agree to do a show like that. But, and it doesn't have to be me, but what are your thoughts on ultimatums in general?
It's tough. I think everybody wants to be wanted.
Yeah.
And look, there's some people on that show that are giving an ultimatum. Like, there's a 24-year-old girl giving a guy an ultimatum. Mm-hmm. Girl, like, live your life a little bit. Like, you're not 40. You're not 38. Mm-hmm. She's been legally drinking 3 years. Like, what are we talking about? They've been together 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I think context is everything with the ultimatum. Like, in that
but I'm asking you.
Oh, what happened?
He's not answering the question.
If somebody gave me the ultimatum.
You love air quotes.
They're here. The quotes are here today. The quotes came to play.
Yeah, they did. How do you feel about somebody giving you an ultimatum?
I think it, like I said, context is everything.
Let's just keep it simple.
Context is everything. It just depends. Like, if you were 24 and we were dating 2 years.
No. Right now. I gave you an ultimatum in 2 months. Like 2 months from now.
Yeah, I would understand it.
Okay.
But I don't think I would. I wouldn't be offended. Like, if you were 24, I'd be like this.
If you don't stop bringing up 24, nobody's 24 here.
I would understand it.
Okay.
But I don't think that it. I mean, we're on the same page, so I don't think it wouldn't bother me, but I would understand it. I wouldn't be offended. Mm-hmm. Would it make me move any faster? Maybe slightly. Mm-hmm. But, so the ultimatum, like, if we don't do this by
because that's
July,
what it is.
I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Obviously, people make up their own terms.
Sure. I think the terms matter.
Yeah.
I think the terms matter.
So, Ali Cohn and I, if you're new to me, I have a podcast called Your Unpaid Therapist. And we were talking about this on the podcast. And I was saying that if somebody gave me an ultimatum, it does obviously matter, like, how they come to you. But it could be one of two things where you're just, you're obviously pretty much on the same page, but timing is everything. Or probably more likely for me, I would feel like just extra pressure, and I don't do well with extra pressure. So I feel like that could, I could just be like, all right, then leave. Depending, you know what I mean? How it comes.
Context.
Right.
How long you've been together, age.
Yeah.
Aspirations. Do you both want children? Do you not want children? All these things matter. It changes. Every little thing changes the ultimatum.
But do you think that if you are at a point that you got all the way to having to give somebody an ultimatum, like, doesn't that say enough?
Some people's point is year 10. Some people's point is year 2. One, depending on context, could be somewhat ridiculous.
Right, but whether it's ridiculous or not,
Okay.
if you yourself, like, I don't care if it's a year or you've been with somebody for 10, that means one person in the equation is not happy and is looking for something else. So that means, or a next step that the other person isn't ready for. Like, you guys clearly then aren't on the same page, because one person, whatever, no matter where you are in the amount of time, one person isn't happy. So if for a long enough period of time, one person in the relationship isn't happy, or you guys aren't on the same page, I don't care. Like, you need to move on. I just really feel like and this is what I said on the podcast, especially, like, please do not settle. Like, if somebody, and this is just wholeheartedly what I believe through experience and through just really growing into my own self-worth, which David has done a lot to, like, fill that cup for me. Do not settle, because you're not happy. And if the person isn't willing to meet you there, somebody will.
So settle in waiting. That person doesn't want to do it yet. So you're settling by, okay, I'll wait another year, another 2, another 3. That's what you mean by settling.
Right.
Okay.
And I almost feel like, if, depending on, how long you give this person this ultimatum,
right, you got 3 months to make me a husband or I'm out.
I'll be like, say less.
But what if you loved him?
No, but if you said that to me, you're giving me 3 months to make you a husband? I was like, let's go.
This is hypothetical, of course.
Do you want me to propose? Did you guys hear?
Absolutely not.
You heard it here first, you guys.
An ultimatum, you propose. I'm like, nope. You want to for sure know? Do that.
Actually, that's an interesting topic. And we've talked about this before too, because I've been like, oh, what if how would you feel if a woman proposed? And David is very like, hell no.
You want to see a 100-meter dash the other direction?
But what if it was me? Like, you wouldn't 100-meter dash it.
No, I would.
Really?
Pick you up and run with you. Like, let's go. No. This is not.
Hold on, explain why.
I have to?
Well, yeah, just because I just think it's an interesting thing. Like, why? Because y'all have seen it. Who wasn't it during the Olympics? There was this whole thing about this girl
in the crowd.
Right, in the crowd, and she proposed, and, like, man, the comments were insane. Some people were like, I love it, I'm here for it, super celebrating them, and they're actually super adorable.
Where were they from?
I forgot.
Is it cultural? Certain cultures, is it like, oh, okay.
Sure, but I mean, even Americans, because I was on our feed, and then there was many people who were like, get up, sis. You, girl, don't get off your, knees,
And I've seen videos of Americans, the woman proposing to the guy, and had family and everything. And he tore the place down.
What does that mean?
Like, I cleared the table, threw the food.
He was mad?
He was pissed.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Why? Or what would make you be like, no?
I think for certain people it could be emasculating.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm supposed to do that. Or it could be like, we discussed this. Like, I'm going to do it when
I'm ready.
At this, whatever the point is, and then she disregards it and just proposes and brings family, tries to bring the pressure, going against everything they talked about. Right. So maybe he isn't like completely opposed to it. It's just, hey, now's not the time. I'm going to do it. I'd like to do it. Imagine always thinking about how you're going to do it, and you're kind of planning it. And you're like, okay, next year, this time, some things are in motion. And then 2 months later, you propose and you have your own thing. Like, that's, patience. But
Patience.
at the same time, I agree with you. Like, know your worth and don't let somebody pull you along. Like, we gotta call BS at a certain point. We have to be understanding to both situations. Maybe for the woman, her clock is ticking. She wants to have kids. The guy wants to be more established, or maybe he's having just anxiety. Well, work through that, right? Like, work through your anxiety. How long are you working at it? How long has it been? 6 months? Is it 5 years since you had the discussion? Right? Probably doesn't take that long. So I think as long as you're both considering the other person's struggle and
right, where they're coming from, or what they're looking for. Right. I'm noticing on this video I look extra tall because you're obviously 6'2", and right now we're like shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, don't get it twisted.
So I was like, in this video,
I am 6'2".
I know, but I was like, you can't tell right now because I look gargantuan.
It's okay. I'm just down here talking to you.
I know. I was like, dang, I was like, I feel like I look big. Anyway, yeah, no, it's true. Like, every situation is unique. Obviously, the show definitely brings up a lot of interesting things. And I applaud Nick and Vanessa Lachey. Vanessa is very candid about she giving Nick,
because they were together for like 6 years, 5 years, right?
Right. So she gave him an ultimatum, and he was very truthful in saying, like, yeah, I needed that little push. So sometimes that is the case. I have learned, and what I do know about myself is like, and I talked about this in the podcast, and I was so grateful to a friend of mine who, when I was in a similar situation, it was just like, you deserve to be in a place where somebody is crazy about you and they cannot wait to marry you. Like, there's no questions asked. Like, it is just,
we all want to be wanted.
Right. Yeah. And that just really always stuck with me because I was like, yeah, like, what a shitty feeling to feel like you feel like maybe you have to convince or persuade or pressure
to leave.
Right.
Do this or
I'm done.
I'm done.
And I had a lot of people even be like, so what? Like,
so now you do it. Right now,
but not everybody.
Well, let's say he does it. You give him the ultimatum. Now he does it. Do you feel good because you got what you wanted, or do you feel like you backed your partner in a corner, put a gun to his head, and said, "Make a decision"? And then he says, "Okay, I'll marry you." Do you still get all the butterflies? Do you still feel special and chosen? Because at that point,
it depends on the person, right? I think.
Is it about attaining that marriage? Mm-hmm. Right? Is it it's sought after, you want to get married. So is it just about that? Or is it about the feeling wanted and knowing that person wanted to be with you for the rest of their lives? Because I think it comes to a point where it's like, these people are giving ultimatums. At some point, it's like, and if they're saying they're not ready, and you have to threaten them to get what you want, and then you get it, are you like, oh my gosh, he loves me, he just wants to be with me, oh my God, does he? Because you just threatened to blow his whole thing up. Unless you
not his whole thing.
Well, let's say you live together, you're doing all these different things, and it's like, oh, I'm out. And then he does it. Oh my God, he loves me till infinity, the both of us, forever. Is it though? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, that is the question. Because I feel like in those circumstances, some people would be enough. And I feel like, again, going back to, if you are in that space, please just dissect the hell out of why you are in that space. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the future of your relationship. Mm-hmm. Especially if you want a family, things like that. So hopefully none of you are in that situation. Hopefully you enjoy this guilty pleasure, the ultimate.
Who's signing up for this? Like, who's in a relation? And we talked about that. Who is like, you know what? You're not giving me what I want. I'm gonna give you an ultimatum. I'm gonna take you on a show.
You know who?
I'm gonna take you on a show, and then you're gonna date somebody, and then I'm gonna date somebody.
You know who?
And
the people.
Then we're gonna see how this goes, because it sounds like a good idea. And I think at the end of this, because we're gonna trust the process. See what I did? And then It'll work out, and then I'll get my
And
boo,
then-
and we'll get married after that.
And then we're going to have all this following because people saw us on TV, and we're going to get endorsements and sponsorships.
Because that's what we said. We said, I think
that's
80% of the people who go on the show, they're done. Their relationship is done.
Yeah, they know.
They know.
They're like, okay, fine, whatever.
So, right.
I'm
So
be
they
on
go
TV.
on there, they pretend that, because there's no way that you could watch the girl that you love, right? The girl that you love get macked on by a guy with a Jerry curl, a nose ring, chest hair,
and her be like,
and wearing sunglasses at night, all those things, and her thinking he's the greatest thing ever, and you're just like, yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna talk to her. Like, this is cool,
right?
Like, no, you don't care. You've been done with her. You could care less, unless you're just crazy,
cold-blooded. But I mean, look, there's people who do open relationships,
just open, yeah. Unless you're just open, unless you like,
which that'll be another little vlog for us, those open relationship folks, because I feel like those folks would be like, all right, whatever,
right,
cool, I like to see it. Whereas, like, I'd be like, you better not even wink at my man across the table.
I could never. I would cry just like Dave. What's she doing?
Yeah, it's so sad. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little
but go watch the show.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Would you guys issue an ultimatum if you needed to?
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Are you happy now? You got what you wanted?
Maybe they don't, but is it worth it to issue the ultimatum? That's
right. Does he or she regret you now? I don't know. Tell us. Talk to us. Let's keep this going.
Adios.